Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Miss Elliott's Assembly. We're going to be thinking about the rule of law, which is one of the four fundamental British values. We see rules everywhere we go. We see them in schools, at home, within sports. But how important are they, do you think? Well, rule of law is fundamental to life in the UK. We should remember that it's the rule of law that guarantees our freedom and gives us rights. This means that rules seem to be an inevitable part of society and are often the only way that a group of people can coexist safely and happily. So let's start to think about how the rule of law applies to you. Imagine that you got up, had some toast for breakfast, then walked to school. Spent the day here learning before walking home. When you get home, you go on your Xbox and you start playing a game online. How many laws do you think you have come under the influence of in that time? The answer to my last question is there's too many to count. We're protected by laws all of the time, often by laws we don't really know exist. All of these laws are in place to keep society safe as well as keeping ourselves safe. So let's now move on to thinking about what laws are. So laws then are rules about our behaviour that can be enforced by a person or an organisation. So let's just think about COVID. In recent weeks, life has changed again for us all. We're now in our third lockdown with more new rules to follow. These laws have impacted our everyday lives, including the way that we learn and the way that we work. It's important that we follow these rules as it means we are protected by them. After all, working together helps to keep us safe. We can apply this to LECA. Just think, at school we have rules and expectations. These are in place to keep everybody at LECA safe and to ensure that we provide you with a high level of education. So far, we know laws are rules that we need to follow, and we know that working together is really important. It's also important that we realise that the rule of law is not the law of rulers. We need to remember that laws are not just made by whoever is in charge. It's decided as a democracy. This means that it's decided by a group of people coming together, sharing their ideas and opinions, and making judgments on what would be best for us. Again, we can apply this to LECA. Mr. Gaskins wouldn't just make a rule. He would talk to his staff team and he would talk to you. Great examples here are of the school council. Overall, following this system in the UK ensures that as a country we promote individual liberty and it helps to give us freedom. Sadly though, not all countries are the same, as many countries limit or remove individual freedom. Despite not all countries being the same as ours, to us in the UK, the rule of law is the idea that everybody is subject to and accountable to law that is fairly applied and enforced. What we mean by this is that everyone is responsible in following laws and in turn everybody is protected by them too. We all have protected characteristics that we must be protected by. Some of these include age, religion or belief, and sexual orientation. These characteristics are not protected in every country in the world. By this, we mean that the rule of law doesn't apply to all countries. Have a look at this slide. For example, in North Korea, it's illegal to wear blue jeans. In some countries, it's illegal to identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community. In other countries, it's illegal to share your political opinions. And in some countries, women have no rights. Remember, not everywhere is like the UK. Here, we have the right to be free and to have a fair trial. As you live in the UK, let's now consider how the rule of law applies to you. So for you in the UK, the rule of law applies to everybody, including you. That means that you're protected by the law and you're responsible for following the law. It means that you have individual liberty, the right to be who you want to be within the law. It also means that the laws are there to protect your protected characteristics, and this means that the laws can be updated. We live in a world that's forever changing, and it means that laws have to be changed, adapted, updated, all to suit the world that we live in and how we live. With the way that technology and artificial intelligence is evolving, could you predict any new laws that we may need? Okay, so I'm going to conclude this assembly with these images, each of them representing our British values, which are the rule of law, democracy, respect and tolerance, and individual liberty. We've been able to see that the rule of law can be linked to all of the other British values. Don't forget that these values apply to everyone that lives in the UK. They are fundamental at keeping us safe and allowing us the freedom to be who we want to be. I'm going to leave it here for now, so have a great week everybody, and let's continue to embed British values into all that we do.